Welcome back to Mostly Superheroes here in the basement, St. Louis, Missouri. Another one for you. This one is super nerdy. Gonna cover the gambit with some superheroes, some TV, some movies, some of the good old stuff. Welcome back, Mr. Andy the Giggler. How are you, sir?
Dude, I'm great. Good to be here, as always.
And you're wearing the right shirt for today. I'm your host, Logan, and another podcast is here. I'm honestly putting a notch in the nerdy belt right now. We have completed our phase hero journey, and we have
Quadfecta.
Well, it's more than that. It's a quad. We have on the podcast today. Really excited. Jamie Jirak, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored. What a great introduction.
I mean, it's more that the audience, I know it comes through a little muffled on Zoom, but whenever our listeners, you're in an auditorium right now with a bunch of people clapping, and if you listen real closely, a drunk guy in the back yelling woo. So Jamie, your DVDs look great. I saw on your Instagram you got your DVD wall up. How is life out in LA? How are you?
Life is good. You know, it's pretty chill. Still living that unemployed life, but I'm starting some freelance gigs. Today I'm starting with Flash Film to do some, and I freelanced them a long time ago. I love that website a lot, so I'm happy to be back with them. Just trying to get this place together. The DVDs look great, but if I turn my camera the other way, it's pretty horrifying. It's just so many boxes.
And you're obviously on Face Hero, where all of us are longtime subscribers. We were there from the zero to hero. Hope you appreciate that animated Hercules reference that makes it in there. And you also have another podcast, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a huge fan of the show. Definitely been a rewatch on my list. What's the name of your podcast where you talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
It's called Love in the Time of Hydra, it's actually named after a season 2 episode that we're getting to soon. It's me and my boyfriend, Tony. We revisit every episode on its 10th anniversary. So it's going to be a 7-year-long podcast, and Tony's never seen it. So a big point of the show is to protect Tony and keep him from spoilers, which is so much harder than you think it is, living with someone who you can't say the word Daisy to. It gets really a struggle. But we actually are a really cool guest this week, who I haven't announced yet, and I don't want to get his last name wrong, so I'm just going to tease it and tell everybody to follow us on Instagram at LitoPod, because we have a cool one coming up on Sunday.
That's perfect. It kind of answered one of your main questions for today, right?
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to know where you guys were at in the story right now, because this is it's a rewatchable show for sure.
We're halfway through season 2, so a lot of pod left. 2030 is when we'll be finishing this.
That's such a mostly superheroes thing you're doing. We respect that so much. Extending that rewatch, also keeping it spoiler free for a new audience member. These are the two things we try to achieve every time we do it. So you've packaged all that into, and in the amazing days of a Daredevil Born Again, you are just waiting for this show to come back, right?
I don't want Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to come back, because I think that it is a perfect 7 seasons. I always say 7 seasons is perfect because my favorite show is Buffy, and that's 7 seasons. But I would like to see some of the characters again. I would like clarification on what their ideas are for the, as a whole, because people keep asking me as if I know. Is it canon? Is it canon? I don't care. But for some reason, I'm the person who people expect to have that answer. So I would like Brad Winterbone to figure it out so he can tell me, so people can stop asking me.
You're now the subject matter expert, whether you want it or not. I always like to sneak in a little bit of an interview before we just nerd out, because we're here to nerd out and just have a good time. But I don't know the road from Jamie to Phase Zero. Where'd you grow up, and how'd you end up out in LA? Are you from LA? Like Aaron? Are you a transplant? Maybe a couple minutes, whatever you're willing to share about your background.
Oh, I love talking about myself. I was born in New Jersey, but I grew up in Florida, and I actually in Florida, went to this amazing high school that was Performing Arts High School for theater. I actually went to high school with Charlie Burnett, who was just on The Acolyte. It was really cool to see my friend play Jedi. So like a really awesome theater high school. And then I continued performing for the next 10 years. I went to college in Chicago where I did comedy. I did stand-up. I did improv for a really long time. And then I was kind of burnt out on that. I moved to New York and I got an internship with BuzzFeed because I studied film in college. So I knew I wanted to write about movies. So I auditioned at BuzzFeed, and during my time at BuzzFeed, actually, I wrote an article about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and why people should be watching it. It was ahead of the 5th season, and that article caught the attention of one Clark Gregg, and he invited me out to LA in 2018 to moderate the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 100 episode panel. And because of that is, I think, how I got my job at comicbook.com. And I was there for 6.5 years before they laid me off. Boo. But in that time is when we did the old podcast, Aaron, Jenna, BD, and I. And but I don't know if you'd call it luck or unlucky, but all 4 of us got let go, which meant that we could start a new show, which is how Faye's Hero began. And it's fun to have our own show and to not have any, corporate overlords telling us, like, I can curse, which is fun. That's pretty much, and I moved to LA about 4 years ago. I moved in the middle of the pandemic. I always knew I wanted to end up in LA because I love movies more than anything, and I want to be where they happen. And I think that's the whole life story.
This is why I love talking to people that are storytellers and love stories, because God, we can get to it, can't we? Like, you really could get to it, and that was like less than 3 minutes. Very impressive. And Faye's Hero, though, to the moon. You guys can do it. We're speaking as independent folks, and you're picking up those freelance gigs and figuring out how it's all going to work. If anybody can do it, it's you four. Andy's rocking the shirt right now. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
You guys got
whoa, Andy. What's Andy wearing?
Same one.
I got the same one.
You got your face here.
I just have sleeves.
Amazing. You're so tiny.
I just
You're
got
like
sleeves.
This big.
Yes, for you right now. Yes. For the viewer,
I got my sleeves off.
For the viewer, this will be super fancy, slick multicam, and you'll be front and center. The only thing you're missing though are, she's gone sleeveless. I wish you were sleeveless so bad.
I'll have to order an extra one because you guys already have another round. Yeah,
you can crop yours too.
Geez.
Really.
I don't even
show
know.
Some skin.
I don't
Carrie
think Logan
can do
would
it.
even let me in the house if I did that.
Carrie can do it for you. My wife, she can crop a shirt like no other. If you need it, Andy, let's do it.
Okay, let's go. Summer's coming up. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get nerdy and just talk about some fun stuff that we like. This is going to be one of those things. We'll see some recent stuff that's relevant, things that have happened recently, and just some kind of top faves. So Faye's Hero, of course, go subscribe to Faye's Hero wherever you get your podcast. Watch on YouTube. I believe it's live on Wednesdays at like 1 p.m. Central. Is that right? 11 a.m.? Or when are you guys going live?
Yeah, normally the show is 11 Pacific, so 1 Central on Wednesdays. But during Daredevil, we are actually doing Mondays at 1 Central. That was a BD call. I just go along for the ride.
I like
that's
it.
Only when I have no opinion. I'm truly like, whatever, I'll show up when you tell me to. Yeah. So just during Daredevil, the regular show is Mondays at 1 Central, and then as soon as Daredevil ends Tuesday night, we have our after show. So if you hit play right at 6, as soon as it ends, then we start. But I imagine when Daredevil ends, we will go back to Wednesdays. I'm going to assume. I sadly don't think we're doing an Andor after show, which I need people to have me come on their pods to talk about Andor because I'm so excited for that.
And while we're on the topic of Daredevil Born Again, I did listen to the Faye's Hero episode today, and Andy and we haven't even talked about it on the show, so I just kind of want to react to the first 3 episodes for you and I, and then not make you repeat yourself, Jamie. I know that you said that you were a fan of this last episode 3. I think you put it around an 8.5 out of 10. You were looking for some more punchy, and maybe some more sexy. I forget exactly what you phrased.
I didn't say that, but you're not wrong. It's clear you know me a little bit.
So maybe say again, now that you've talked about it once today, how are you sitting with this show? We're 3 down. How's Daredevil Born Again going for you? And Giggler, you're up next.
Sounds good.
The thing is, I feel like if you love the Netflix show, you're going to be loving this, which is what everybody wants. And the Netflix show was never my thing. I just finished it last week. Finally, I'm a Jessica Jones girl. Daredevil is just a little too serious for me. But that being said, it does what it does beautifully. Like I really enjoyed this last episode a lot, even though I do like to watch people kick ass. Like where like they like whenever somebody gets in a hallway, you know shit's gonna go down. But I am quite enjoying it, and it's just fun that it's weekly. I think that was my problem when Daredevil was initially on Netflix. Season 2, I kind of gave up because it just didn't feel bingeable to me, and I like that this is keeps me wanting more.
Right, great take. Yes, totally agree. Are you looking forward to? Are you a Punisher fan?
Okay, so yes and no. Yes, that I really like his performance, and I loved him on Daredevil. I haven't watched the show yet, so that's high on my list to do because I feel like I need to know what happened between Fisk letting him out of prison and now. I want to know what happened. I don't really know it all, and I don't like not knowing. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna that's my homework.
And honestly, like seeing Daredevil Born Again come back, this is a bit of the uphill battle. I thought that the Netflix series, looking back on them, I liked them all, but you have to really, it's where the chronological order of the series with the Defenders and the Punisher as it relates to Daredevil Born Again, like, is so important that, like, I'll be really interested to hear your take on the Punisher series with the 2 seasons that are out there. Because honestly, those felt like, really, to me, you need to know a lot about what happened in the other stuff. Otherwise, like my wife Carrie, she loves Daredevil and Daredevil Born Again, but we watched the Punisher and she's like, this isn't really doing it for me. Like, I just don't know like where this guy came from. It seems like we're just kind of dropping in. So we'll have to hear about what you think. Andy, how have the first 3 episodes gone for you? Where's your excitement level?
It's exactly agree that the last seasons, this is even better to me. I had pretty high expectations, and obviously, do we do spoiler alert yet?
We can call a spoiler alert for sure. If we have, so far, I'm just talking to the broad audience that might be on the fence, like that, like doesn't know if they're gonna watch this show. So, like, I guess if I wanted to just talk to them real quick, I'd say just watch this show and have fun, because like I don't think that you necessarily need all of it. I think that where they drop you in with Daredevil being a blind superhero, with being a lawyer, and Kingpin is the mayor that is kind of sketchy. Like, you don't need like the context for a character like that. So with that being said, sure, spoiler alert, what you got?
Yeah, no, I just already to kill off 2 characters that quickly is just crushing. But
yeah,
that's aggressive. That's what I think with bringing back to like X-Men 97, like I want them to have these episodes, not a lot of filler, like do a shorter season with balls to the wall the entire time. And I think that's exactly what we're about to see, because I think it's going to get even more dark, even more vicious. I mean, we haven't even seen the Punisher yet, so it's coming.
Yeah. I enjoyed the speed of it. I know, Jamie, you guys talked about on Face Hero, like the speed of the trial and how they kind of move things quickly. I'm here for that. Like, seeing the story progress, totally like an X-Men 97. I liked the moving of the plot happening kind of quick. Let's go. Let's have big episodes. I didn't mind it being just the law in this episode. Like, this was the law episode. This is where like you get really good court shots and good testimonials. So I guess we'll look to you, Jamie, and wrap up Daredevil Born Again with this. What are you looking for? Is there anything that you're on the hunt for? Do you have any predictions? Or are you just along for the ride?
Yeah, along for the ride. I am someone who, like, I love a little romance mixed in with my action. I couldn't even tell you who I want it from, but like, like you said, a little sexy, smoochies, maybe. I wouldn't be mad about that. Of course, in a dream world, that would be Jen Walters showing up. That would be the ideal, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
Yeah, I know. Where's that yellow and red suit? Like, let's get this team up happening again. Yeah, I know. And I guess like Karen Page, like Foggy, like, is Foggy gonna be really gone? Is Karen gonna still be this love interest? She was only a first episode. Now he's dating the new girl that his attorney friend like recommended, and she's working with Fisk. Like, what is going on? I'm so in. I look forward to this. This is prime TV right here. Okay, let's keep it moving, guys. That's the MCU. Let's go over to I want to go to our guest and hit up. Maybe you pick your favorite. Do you want to talk about Harley Quinn, the Oscars, Revenge of the Sith, or Mission Impossible?
Wow, I picked so many cool things to talk about. I feel like I have not got to talk about the Oscars anywhere, and it just like really bummed me out. I missed One Phase Heroes episode on Monday, so we just never talked about it.
I don't think. Do you have anything to bring to the conversation, Andy? Because I want you to have your day, Jamie. What
Do it.
happened? What happened at the Oscars?
Oh, I was really pleasantly surprised by these Oscars. I love the Oscars. It's like my sports. I know that it's really meaningless and, there's a lot of ickiness to it, but I don't care. I love it. And I loved that Anora kind of swept. It's not a normal Oscar film. It's not their. I really thought they were going to go Conclave or Brutalist because those are Oscar movies. And the fact that they picked this one, I felt sad for Demi Moore. I was rooting for her. I loved The Substance, but you can't be mad that Mikey Madison won because she was so good in Anora. It was just kind of rejuvenating. A win for independent film. To see these guys get up there and like thank sex workers, and it was just a really cool thing to see. I hate Amelia Perez. I knew it was going to win the two that have won, and I'm so glad it didn't win any more of that.
Another well done. How do you wrap up the Oscars that quickly? All right, so then I know The Substance wasn't a winner. It doesn't sound like, but didn't you and BD go see that?
Well, no. So I made him watch it.
Oh, okay.
So I had seen it already, and it was on streaming on Mubi because it's a movie film. And he was crashing at my place, and I was like, you have to watch this. Sometimes that's like the rule. Like, you can stay with me, but the payment is you have to watch a movie with me. And it was definitely a little weird for BD. That third act popped off a little harder than he was ready for, but it did win Best Makeup, which good. If it didn't, that would have been a great injustice.
My jaw was on the ground for that final act. It was and I was holding on for dear life. I was my arms were stretched out, my hair was back. I was like, this movie's taking us right now, and I don't know where we're gonna go next. And there was 5 times of that feeling.
Yes, I need to see this. And Anora. It's still playing at Alamo Drafthouse, so I think I'm going to pop in there.
Haven't seen that one yet.
Soon.
I don't know if Scotty did. Maybe he may have got it on the screener on that one. These guys hit the screeners. They're good. Thank God for these two. Okay.
I've seen it in a theater. It's again just to support the theater, and it's a long one, but it for me, I saw it here at the Vista the first time I watched it, and it breezes by. You don't really feel that runtime.
Is that your theater?
No, my theater is the New Beverly, the theater that Tarantino owns. But they don't typically play new movies. They actually all play Andor right now, but they don't. It's mostly a repertory theater. So, but it is my favorite place in LA. Is the New Bev. I met my boyfriend there. So.
Oh, nice. And what's your boyfriend's name?
Oh, Tony.
Who
I host Love in the Time of Hydra with.
And so half of your DVDs.
Yeah. Yes. He would probably like to come in and say he has a little more than me. I think that he would want me to let you know that about him.
Was there a real love connection on sorting out the duplicates?
You know what? We kind of just determined mine would go because he has been good throughout his lifetime upgrading them. I had a lot of just DVDs and not Blu-ray upgrades, and a lot of my movies I've had since I was 11. So the chances of mine not playing as well were pretty likely. So any duplicate, I got rid of mine.
That's nice. And I like that you went that route of which is the better quality one we're going to keep. I just meant that it's really cute that you guys had a bunch of duplicates.
Yeah. Probably they're less than you think. I would guess maybe 50.
Yeah, it's a percentage game or something.
Because he loves kung fu and westerns, and those are, I don't own any kung fu movies or western movies. I love teen movies and rom-coms. He doesn't own any of them. I love musicals. So we do have a very different type of buying. He also has a huge Criterion collection. So most of those, and since I've known him, I've bought a lot too. So that it's grown a lot in the last 3.5 years.
All right, this is what we'll do. We'll give Jamie a break and let Andy talk about one of his favorites. Yeah. This is a pop culture Jeopardy with Colin Jost.
Oh my gosh, Prime Video. There's just do yourselves a favor and get out and watch this. There's 40 episodes out there for you. They're a quick 30-minute watch, and you don't feel like a dumbass like when you watch actual Jeopardy. It's I honestly think that we have a few in the future. There's a day where mostly superheroes and Phase Hero can compete against each other on this. Like this is exactly in our wheelhouse. Like
family
we
style.
would be the people that would
Yes.
advance to semifinals, quarterfinals. It is exactly what you would think. The questions are very reasonable. I feel so smart when I watch the show. Colin Jost is the best. Like it's par for the course. As it's like a better Weekend Update because he gets. I mean, he gets to talk a little bit more. Always has good like quips after each question. Colin is amazing. I was like, you know what? Bring him on to the real Jeopardy. Like I'd love to be. I might be watching that every day if it's.
Yeah, he could definitely do it.
Yeah,
he's a pro.
Even if I felt like an idiot getting the questions wrong, I might still laugh about it.
Are you watching this, Jamie?
I'm not, but I did recently kind of look into how to apply, and I guess that window's closed again. I guess you're waiting for like the next season until they're taking applications. But there's nothing I love more in this earth than trivia. I used to go to bar trivia. Even when I was in high school, I was going to bar trivia. I love it so much. But I'll tell you, I don't know anything about music or sports. I assume that they cover sports, right?
Yeah. You got to have a
It's
well-rounded team,
but it's
for
mostly
sure you can tell because it's three-person team, so you can have a little bit of specialties in each area. I think Scott would answer most questions for us, but we'd have our niches.
They do like TikTok and stuff too, where I was like, we'd have to bring one of our friends' kids.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like,
and Scott's older, so he just knows more.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we have been watching it. I agree. It's fun. It's like I feel like I hear the tagline in my head, like, "Are you tired of feeling stupid when watching regular Jeopardy? We've got a show for you." And I love the quips too at the end. He did one the other day that was like, "All right, folks, we'll see you next time, or right now because of binging." And it was like it ended, and I was like, "Yeah, this is like a new world we're in." So it's a little meta. And he's dating an Avenger. Colin's always got points.
Married.
Yeah.
Married. They're married? I don't see this. Maybe I wouldn't do well at Pop Culture Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Hey, superhero fans, it's Logan here from Mostly Superheroes. To celebrate 40 years of Voltron, we've got something truly special for you. The Little People Collector Voltron 40th Anniversary Gold Label Set. This buildable set features the 5 original Defenders: Keith, Lance, Pidge, Hunk, and Princess Allura. Each figure comes with a helmet featuring a metallic finish and clear visors, except for Pidge, who needed room for his glasses. But that's not all. These Space Explorer figures are packaged in individual lions that you can assemble to form the mighty robot Voltron, ready to defend the universe from King Zarkon and his nasty Robeasts. Head to store.voltron.com, linked up in the description of this podcast episode, and snag yours today. You can get 15% off your order by using promo code MOSTLY at checkout. That's store.voltron.com, and remember to use promo code MOSTLY. Sailor Moon fans, get ready. We have an event coming up for you at the Fabulous Fox in St. Louis, Missouri. Tuesday, April 8th. Prepare to be enchanted. Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the Super Live. The groundbreaking 2.5D musical is bringing the iconic Sailor Moon universe to life like never before. This stunning stage adaptation, based on the legendary manga and anime, transports audiences into a dazzling world of magic, friendship, and justice, with its electrifying performances, unforgettable choreography, and show-stopping music. This production was the first ever 2.5D musical to hit North American stages, ushering in a new era of live theater that merges the visual style of manga and anime with the immersive power of live performance. Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the Super Live, is a one-of-a-kind experience that will captivate fans of all ages. With book, lyrics, and direction by Kari Mira, who you'll recognize from The Musical Prince of Tennis and Tokyo Revengers the Musical. Choreography by Satomi Toma, and music by Go Sakabi and Kyohi. This is your chance to see Sailor Moon like never before, live on stage in a spectacular 2.5D musical event. Feel the magic, witness the excitement, and be part of the phenomenon that's captured the hearts of millions worldwide. Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the Super Live, Tuesday, April 8th at the Fabulous Fox in St. Louis. Get tickets now at fabulousfox.com. Enter to win tickets from Mostly Superheroes, the podcast, at mostlysuperheroes.com/contests. Don't miss your chance to see Sailor Moon live Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, Super Live at the Fabulous Fox in St. Louis, Tuesday, April 8th. Get your tickets now at fabulousfox.com. Hey, it's Logan from Mostly Superheroes, and we're teaming up with Team Jakey and Four Hands Brewing Company to bring you some awesome community events. Free-to-play TV and film trivia bingo. Thursday night, March 20th, and Thursday night, April 24th. Mark your calendars. Come out to Four Hands Brewery, downtown location. Doors open at 5. Bingo from 6 to 9. Play solo or with a team and have a good time with Team Jakey, Mostly Superheroes, some surprise guests, and amazing prizes from all your favorite local businesses like Steve's Hot Dogs, Four Hands Brewing Company, The Royale Food and Spirits, The Gramophone, The Voltron Store, City Winery, St. Louis, and many more. We'll see you on Thursday night, either March 20th or April 24th. Come out for TV and film trivia bingo and find all of our event information at mostlysuperheroes.com/events. And we have an announcement. Taps for Team Jakey is back. Sam Zeller, how are you, man? Welcome back.
Dude, I'm good. Better after this news.
This is good news.
This is long time coming. I can't even remember the last. This is a long time event for Team Jakey that we used to put on years ago. 8 years plus since we've had this event. So this is going to be great. Still details to come.
Yeah, totally. But we have a date, which is the important thing. May 22nd at the Four Hands downtown. Yeah, we got a mutual friend in Four Hands. You guys have been working with him forever. And May 22nd, mark your calendar, 2025. Team Jakey's back.
Yeah, I want to pack the place.
Yeah.
As much as they'll let us.
Hi, everyone. I'm interrupting this podcast to talk about another podcast. Hi, I'm Randy Naughton. You know that lady from TV for so many years? Well, I too have a podcast called More to Say with Randy Naughton. Interesting conversations with interesting people. And when I say interesting, I mean amazing people. What about the Mac Daddy of all sportscasters, Bob Costas? Phyllis from The Office. Phyllis Smith is her name. Alan Hunter, one of the original MTV VJs. We talk to people about medicine, about tech, about travel, you name it. Great conversations. Now, they're, again, not interviews. They're conversations. So you never know where they're going to take us. Make sure when you're done with this podcast, check mine out. It's called More to Say with Randy Naughton. Available wherever you stream your podcast.
Okay, I would like to talk about some Star Wars and maybe just, accidentally sneak into Andor a little bit, but let's just open up with Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith is coming back to theaters for 20 years. You were on the scoop of this, Jamie. You're counting down, you're excited. This is obviously, I have the high ground. I mean, come on.
As soon as last year, Phantom Menace was released for its anniversary, I was like, next year is the 20th, or what, I think it was the 25th for that movie, but I was like, next year's the 20th for Revenge of the Sith. I know they're going to release it. I've been waiting a full year for this announcement. They finally announced it. So I love Letterboxd. It's my favorite app. And they do stats. And it'll show you the first movie you watched the year is in your stats all year. So I was like, I made Tony watch Revenge of the Sith on January 1st so that it would be the first movie that stats. He's not a prequel guy, so it's like pulling teeth for him when I make him watch this. And my plan is to see it in theaters 3 times because I saw it 5 times the first time around. And if I see it 3 times this time, it will become the movie I've seen the most in theaters, beating embarrassingly Twilight is the current.
No shame, not embarrassed.
I didn't see that coming, but it makes.
I didn't see it. I also did not see it coming. But not.
It's a masterpiece. I genuinely believe that, unironically, that it is a cinematic.
I watch it a lot. My Carrie is a diehard. It's at least once a year, and I've become more of a fan. So okay, all right. So you've been counting it down, and I totally get it too. Like, even if you're not a prequels person, which I understand, if I had to order the prequels, it goes 3, 1, 2. Like, I really like Revenge of the Sith the most. Phantom Menace is really fun, and 2 is kind of like, whoa, get ready for whatever this is. But I still enjoy it too. I want to know, like, I'm the fan. Man, Episode 3, dude, this was it, dude. This is like the joke that we have with our buddy Danny Patron, who has been on the podcast for a long time. Not in a bit. We need to get him back. And we always make the joke that he doesn't like kids like Darth Vader doesn't like kids, and like this is the movie that kicks this all off of like the younglings and Palpatine, and it's so good. I mean, I think I'm gonna have to get back over to Alamo or to Ronnie's or somewhere and see this when it's running.
I'll join. I got to read. Like, I think episode 1 was my most I've seen in theaters for one movie with like 5 times. So this one might catch up.
Did you play the pod racing game, Jamie, on N60 or what was it, PlayStation?
It was N64.
N64.
I am not a video game person at all.
Me neither. I don't even have a console.
Any video game? Yeah, I know, and I'll tell you, I hate to say it, every time I watch Phantom Menace, which I love, the pod race, I'm like, oh, it's still going. It goes on for so.
It is. It's real. It's much longer than you realize too. When you go back and watch, you're like, this is very long. And I also get really upset about them not taking his mom. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you work at the ultimate government and you're like, sorry, we just can't bring her. I'm like, what? It would cause so much headache and heartache if we could just figure this out. Okay. Andor season 2. The special looks out. It looks great. It also looks like they are speeding it up, and it's the road to Rogue One. Jamie, how you feeling about Andor? What is it about the show that you like?
I didn't watch the latest thing because I just kind of want to just experience it.
Hell yeah.
So which sometimes, now that I don't work for a site where I have to be up with certain things, I'm like, I'm just going to wait and enjoy it. And I'm so hyped. I'm going to Japan. I'm going to Star Wars Celebration, and the panel, they haven't announced their Revenge of the Sith 20th panel yet. That's my priority if it happens. But they have announced their 4 big ones, and one of the 4 big ones I most want to go to is Andor, because I'm hoping that they play the first episode of season 2 on a big screen. I loved season 1. It's written so well, and I love Rogue One. And I think it's such a cool idea. And I'm so excited that K2 is coming back. That's my boy. Everything about it, it's going to be like really sad. I'm excited to be sad.
I'm excited to be sad. It is. It's like this character. We know what happened. It's Scotty's favorite Star Wars movie. He said time and time again, definitely one of Carrie's. And man, yeah, I think season 1, like for me personally, it got slow. I kind of felt like the pod racing a little bit when they were in the prison. I was like, we got to get out of. Yeah, I know it was just a lot of prison. Like, I like the exciting things that happened at the prison, but they were there a long time. It was like 3 episodes if I remember right. So like season 2 kind of looks like, I mean, everything's building, the pressure's coming. I'm excited. Are you a fan, Andy?
I'm just behind on my Star Wars.
You need to catch up.
I do need to catch up. This is the one that everyone tells me to start with, because I think this one and Acolyte are where I'm missing as well. I've seen Ahsoka.
Skeleton Crew?
Oh, I missed that as well.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah, talking to the wrong
so
guy.
good.
I'm caught up. Skeleton Crew. And after your face about the prison comment, I said, like, I'm already like losing sleep about that. Like, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to Andor and be like, this is good. This is good.
If it makes you feel better, I am currently on year 5 of trying to get through Clone Wars, and everyone gives me shit for that. So if that's our even Stevens.
Yep.
All right. How about Dexter? Are you a Dexter fan?
I am not. I'm a Sarah Michelle Gellar fan, and I know she's up in here somewhere. But I watched some of the John Lithgow season because I was in college and my neighbor was watching it, and that was many years ago.
What a drop in!
Yeah,
that's a drop in.
That's the best season.
This is. I mean, I could fan out about this series. I've rewatched Dexter at least 7 times. We are rewatching it right now because Dexter Original Sin was so good. I've never seen younger casting and a world recreated from a show 15 years later with like the same set, but somehow looks sharper and cleaner in a 1990s Miami where murder's going down and a cool Dexter is getting his start. And I'm telling you why this show is good is because Dexter is the first serial killer like in the history of fiction. It's fiction, right? But it's still cool because he's a good guy. And like he doesn't even know how good of a guy he is, and that is the show. Like you watch this show, he thinks he's a psycho. He's got this crazy past, and I don't know if there's much of like this reminds me of Lost and The Boys when it comes to an ensemble of actors that can really do a good job, not only in the original show, but Dexter Original Sin and now Dexter Resurrection. It is filming, and there is also Dexter New Blood that is technically the sequel to the Dexter show. So it goes chronologically, it'd be Dexter Original Sin, Dexter New Blood, and now the new show Dexter Resurrection, where they're announcing casting all the time. So this show's coming this summer. I'm a huge fan, obviously, so can't wait.
What mileage? Like, who knew that Dexter would become like a franchise? I'm honestly just impressed by whatever exec decided this was a good idea. It's like really impressive.
And then for the fan that did know, it's kind of like, finally, like, yes, we have to pick this up. We didn't finish it in the finale like that. Like, we have more to do. There's more to say. And I know you're a fan, Andy.
I think it was my favorite show of the year so far.
Oh my gosh. Original Sin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And now I'm in the throes of rewatching it right now, of the original Dexter. Like, we are rewatching it again, and it is definitely like Lost, where it is just getting better and better. I'm like, whoa, like this is way deeper than you realize.
There has to be majority of people that finish Original Sin have to immediately go and rewatch the first season of Dexter. Like, they just lead you right there.
All right,
perfectly.
We've done a really good gambit today. We covered a lot of fandoms. Why don't we just like end on DC? All right, we can just like kind of talk DC. James Gunn is from St. Louis. We had Sean Gunn on our podcast last year. You guys talk to James and the crew all the time. We love the Suicide Squad. I just rewatched Peacemaker. It's a masterpiece, and Superman is on the way. But in the animated world, you are watching Harley Quinn with season 5 coming up. You know, where do you want to talk about DC? I'll leave it up to you.
I just love this show so much. It's my favorite DC thing. But like Birds of Prey is my favorite DC movie. Maybe tied with Batman and Robin. Yeah, I really love that film.
Nothing wrong with that.
Clooney?
Yeah.
Yes.
That movie came out when I was 7.
Yeah.
And it like changed my life. I saw it in theaters, and it was like Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy was just the coolest thing I'd ever seen as a 7-year-old girl.
Yes, with John Glover like as the crazy scientist from he's in Smallville, Lionel Luthor.
And an episode of Agent Carter I just watched him in that I forgot he was in.
Love it.
Oh, wow.
But this show, Harley Quinn, is just, it's so funny and cool, and the fact that like they get to be in a relationship, to see Harley and Ivy together as in romantically is a dream come true on the screen. And season 5 is like we're deep in it right now, and I'm really loving season 5. There's a whole Brainiac arc that's really fun. It's just they're now living in Metropolis, which is also a fun little different thing. And I don't know if it's going to get a season 6. Every time they renew this show, I can't believe it. I'm shocked that it hasn't been canceled. So if it were to end at 5, I'd be lucky I got this far. But like I said, 7 is the ideal number.
I think Scotty's watching. I haven't seen it. Have you?
I've seen the first season.
You've seen the first season?
It is hilarious.
Yeah, and now there are 5 seasons. I mean, I'm looking at the poster. I'm reacting. Like, I would love to see the quirkiness of these two in a relationship. Like, anyone in a relationship also with Poison Ivy is just like kind of funny to think about. And is that Clayface? Like,
yeah, Clayface.
One of the best characters.
Alan Tudyk is doing
Clayface.
it?
Yeah, same as Creature Commandos, and he's so funny. I mean, truly, like he made me love Clayface, truly, in a way that I didn't before. And this image is from probably like season 1 or 2, because we got Dr. Psycho in here, and he hasn't been on this. That's his name, right? He hasn't been on the show in a while, but that's Tony Hale, and Tony Hale's fantastic as well.
When is season 5 out?
It's currently in the middle. It's almost over. I think there's only like 2 or 3 episodes left of the season.
That's right.
So it's every Thursday a new episode drops.
Very nice. Okay, and what else in DC world is driving with you? Are you excited for Superman?
I am. It's I've never really been a big Superman girl. I watched the Christopher Reeve movie like for the first time maybe 4 years ago, and I was like, oh, this is incredible. This is why I've never been a Superman fan, because I never saw the Superman movie that mattered. I am a notorious Snyder hater, so I love James Gunn, so I think that he's gonna. You say that we've talked to him. I'd like to specify I have never talked to James Gunn. But I love his work. I think when it comes to superhero content, he's never let me down. I love the Suicide Squad. Like you said, Peacemaker, I think is amazing. So I think there's gonna be some fun heart to Superman. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, heart, coolness, just music. and I'm just so excited. The trailer just got me so jazzed. I also think it's going to be a real pinnacle for Warner Brothers. Like, this is a household name. It's a worldwide household name. I think when you talk about performance, I'm calling it as Superman, Fantastic Four, Jurassic World. Like, that's the order in terms of box office. Like, that's my guess, just because Superman is so big. So a lot of pressure, but at the same time, I got a good feeling. Like, I mean, you watch Suicide Squad again, you'll have a good feeling.
Can't wait for Peacemaker.
I think you're right domestically with that order, but overseas, Jurassic always like crushes.
Good call.
I would be surprised if Jurassic doesn't crush the worldwide, but I think that domestically your order is 100% correct.
Good call, yeah. Do you have feelings about the Jurassic movie? We already talked about the Colin Jost side of pop culture. Now we can go to the Scarlett Johansson. Are you excited for the film? Are you kind of along for the ride? That's kind of where I'm at. I'm along for the ride. I probably won't even see it in theaters, to be honest, unless we get a screener. Like, that's kind of where I'm at.
100%. It's a Jurassic movie. I'll see it. Like, are a lot of them bad? Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see Ursula and Jonathan Bailey in his little glasses. I'm ready.
All right. Yeah. Me and my wife's first date was during a Jurassic Park movie, so I have to continue that tradition.
You have to keep up the
lie. I have to see every Jurassic Park movie in theaters until I die.
That's cute. Which one?
So it was the first Chris Pratt one. So that was just the first
Jurassic
World. Yeah.
The park is open.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Let's end with Jamie. Andy, what do you got for Jamie Jirak?
Oh gosh, what's something surprising that you do in your daily life that we wouldn't know about? Something cool like that. Just
wow, what an interesting.
I see you on my lunch breaks on Wednesdays or maybe Thursdays if I'm following up. So
when you're not talking,
when you're not
nonsense
talking,
with everybody,
you're not talking the nerd sphere that we all live in.
Wow, this is such a good question, and one of which I'm like, what do I do besides watch movies all day?
Someone asked me to write a bio about myself yesterday, and I had to think about it for 10 minutes before I even got 2 sentences. So
I feel like there's got to be like an interesting answer here give me a second question. Let me think about
all right.
All right. So you mentioned you're trying to do some freelance work. You look at you do speaking engagements, like panels, like panel speaking, and like it seems like you like that. So like, what would you want to be doing in addition to your career? Like, what's something that would be fun to do that you'd be like, that's a big achievement?
Yeah, moderating stuff is the number one thing I want to do, and it doesn't come often. It's but whenever it does, it's my favorite thing because like I said earlier, I kind of grew up on the stage. I love being in front of a crowd. It's my favorite thing. I've debated, should I do stand up again, but like that idea kind of exhausts me. So I don't know. But yeah, that is my favorite thing. One thing that I really want to get into is like to take voice acting classes. That's one thing that I'd like to do that I think would be really fun.
Get you in like Harley Quinn Harley season 6. Like, like something like that, like a character, character acting.
Yeah, nice. 100%.
Okay.
All right.
You bring the energy to Phase Hero, so I could see you being in other forms of media.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I thought of an answer to your question, which kind of relates to that, which is I'm actually preparing to audition to play Miss Hannigan in a production of Annie in community theater in my hometown of Sarasota, Florida, because my best friend is directing it. I have not sung in 17 years. It's not a strong suit, but I'm my voice teacher I had in high school. We have not worked together in 17 years. We're going to work together, and I'm going to audition for a production of Annie. So that is my weird thing I'm doing.
We'll give it up for Annie in Sarasota, Florida. Like, did you say a live, like an on-stage production? Like, or did you say
community theater?
Community theater. Hell yeah, community theater. Absolutely.
The theater is in an old Banana Republic in the mall. It's pretty. We're talking community theater.
Oh my gosh, I'm really like you're talking to a theater kid. Like I was in theater in high school and college, and I've thought about like community theater here in town, and like I'm just applauding you for like going for it. Like I don't know what when's the last time you did like any kind of theater?
I was in a production of Rocky Horror in 2013. So
Wow,
11 years
nice.
ago was the last time I did a musical.
Hell yeah. Back at it. Okay, so real acting, maybe some voice acting, some moderating, just that kind of Swiss Army knife personality that you could just kind of see what sticks, what you like, and whatever works, they'll just keep calling you back. Like, you know.
I love your optimism.
Yeah, that's if you don't have that, you got to have that too. You know, you got to bring that with you, and just remember, like, you know, there's a reason you're drawn to that stuff, and we believe in you. You got this.
Thank you.
I'd like to see you in a play, Andy. I don't know. You have no desire to. Did you ever act in high school?
No.
Nothing
way.
like that.
No.
Were you in like school office or anything, like student council or something?
I had my first public speaking course in college. I dropped the day of my first speech because I was so afraid of public speaking at that time. I just would rather pay for the course and just not go. My parents weren't very happy with that, but I had to make it up for it after I matured later in college.
Oh, you matured?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize.
Yeah, it just took like a little bit.
All right, Jamie, we always bombard, our guests with everything. Do you have any questions for us? We're here in St. Louis. We, some things I thought about that you mentioned, you like trivia, like bar trivia. We host trivia bingo here at local breweries and do stuff like that. And if you ever come to St. Louis, we'd show you around.
I've never been. I've driven by it. I've seen it.
Aaron swears to me he's coming, so we might have to do some kind of meetup at some point. So any questions for the Mostly Superheroes crew?
I would love to know where you started versus how you got this like amazing basement that you're into. Have you always been in the same room together?
Yeah. So in terms of our show, we started in 2020, and it's all been right here in the basement. During COVID, we Zoomed, even though we all live pretty close to each other, like physically. So yeah, my road to this was I got my start in radio fresh out of high school and was at a top 40 radio station and got to kind of cut my teeth at big festivals and on the morning show every single morning with musical artists and stuff like that. And then I went full corporate, and I was 7 years in pharmaceutical research and 7 years in marketing and advertising. And, doing fun stuff on the side, but mostly just working, doing that corporate thing. And met my wife in 2019. COVID happened. We moved in. It was all very, very, very fast. Very, very fast. But man, it was like the podcast and TV shows. Like I had a list of things that I had like wanted to do, just like came back to the very forefront of like my will. And I was like, I have to start this. Like I have to start somewhere and just get it going. And so I had a $50 mixer with $20 mics, sounded like cans with string on them. It was in the corner of this room. There was nothing else down here but one small little desk. I mean, it looked like Ebenezer Scrooge's like little desk, like not his desk, but Bob Marley's desk.
Yeah, sure. Where Kermit sits.
Where Kermit sits. Totally.
Yes.
I love the Muppet Scrooge reference.
The definitive.
So now, I mean, if you ever come to town, we'd love to host you in this basement. It is a green room now. There's vinyls all over the wall. There's a beer fridge. There's a couch. There's 2 TVs. There's 6 cameras and 4 mics and totally soundproofed and a full Mac studio. That was my computer that I've been trying to buy for 20 years that finally I had a point where like I couldn't render the videos that I was editing. I was self-taught in editing, and finally was like, if I'm going to do this for real, we got to upgrade. Yeah. And my wife was looking at me wide-eyed, but here we are, and we're making it work, and we're in that freelance game, and it's feast or famine sometimes, Jamie, but I always say this, the pay is not great, but the perks are fucking awesome. So just go for it.
I need that on a shirt. I love it.
Oh,
that's
shit, yeah.
That's incredible.
Hey, man.
Aaron was hyping you guys up. I just want you to know. When I was talking to Aaron was like, "Oh, these guys have St. Louis on lock." So
he's the man. The other day, he tagged me in like we talked about golf for like 2 minutes when we interviewed him, and he tagged me in like a tag 3 friends that you know to win this free golf trip or something like that. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. Appreciate
Sweetie,
that.
what a sweetie.
I didn't win yet, but it's all
He's-
right. I'm gonna hold it against him.
He's become a friend, and like Jenna was on the podcast. BD, we finally got BD. It was in the thick of.
He's hard to get.
It was in the thick. It was in the thick of comic book too. It was in the thick of all that, and he was like, "I've had a crazy day," and we were like, "We can't believe you're here right now. Like, what are you even thinking, honestly?" But hey, Phase Hero, man, really appreciate you zooming in, and anytime you guys want to cross over, like us nerds got to stick together. You know, we're all in this together.
Oh, I will be hitting you up for some Love in the Time of Hydra for sure. Once I find out that people have seen and like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they get put on a list. they stay there.
Yes.
Yes.
I've been hovering on it lately too. So now I think your podcast will probably push me over the edge because that's if I can find somebody else that's talking about it. I mean, that's why we got in this business in the first place.
Yeah, we've talked about doing the same concept for Lost. Just
Yes.
episode by episode breakdown.
I wanted to do a BT
I know.
because it's BT's favorite show, and I love that show. And I'm constantly like, dude, when are we doing Lost? But he's got too many things going on.
Yeah. Well, maybe if he could just be a podcaster on that one, you know, and you too, maybe. Man, I'm dreaming right now. We've been talking. We've been talking about this podcast for years. You it comes up like every other like month. I feel like.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right, we'll do.
Do what I did. Wait for a good anniversary. I guess we just missed the 20th, so
We have
4
to.
years. The 25th.
We always have to go back though.
Yeah.
So.
We have to go back, Pod. There you go. I already got the name.
I think that's what somebody's doing that. I think we need to,
Is that where
and
that
there
came
are,
from?
yeah, there are. I feel like the people we're not paying enough dues to like the people that do this.
Oh, I'm sure there are, but we'll see.
We'll see. We could at least listen to that to get started.
Yeah.
Jamie Jirak, Phase Hero, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. This was so much fun.
Andy, the Giggler, dude, thank you for being here.
Always a pleasure.
And Jamie, we'll talk to you next time. Let's stay in touch.
All right.
That's Mostly Superheroes. Take it easy. Mostly Superheroes is proud to be funded in part by our sponsors. Mostly Superheroes is funded in part by paying patrons who receive early, ad-free, and exclusive episodes. Subscribe at mostlysuperheroes.com/support. Thank you for supporting your favorite independent podcast. Mostly Superheroes is an independent podcast owned and operated by Carrogan Ventures in St. Louis, Missouri. Hosted by Logan Janis, Andy Hunn, and Scott Swearingen. Brand and creative by Carrie Clark Design. Music by Audionautics. Learn more at audionautics.com. Find more at mostlysuperheroes.com.